Danielle Cormack is with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Delightful to see you.
Lovely to be here.
I don't even know where to start with you. Do you know? Can I be honest and say I'm more of a fan of Rake than I am of Wentworth?
You can be honest.
But Rake is such an excellent show, isn't it?
Yeah, we've just finished airing the fourth season in Australia. And hopefully you get the fourth season here.
Yeah, because we're up to season 3, and it seems like a while since it's been on television here and watch. What happens without ruining it for me?
Well, at the end of season 3, you see Cleaver Green and his friend Barney flying away in an air balloon. So at that point, I think the creators of the show decided that was it.
Yeah,
but the show is so popular and everyone wanted to see those characters back on the screen, and Richard Roxburgh, who plays Cleaver Green, who's so magnificent in the role.
I'm glad you raised his name because I couldn't remember it. What's his magic? Because he's one of those rare actors that's got a something about him, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he does. I think they call it X Factor.
Yes, he's got the X Factor.
He's a seasoned performer. He knows that role inside and out. It's so inherent in him, that type of character. You know, Richard is a very bright, very naughty, adventurous actor, and so it just suits him down to the bone. And he is a co-creator of the show as well, so he knows the tone of the show. They've tried to remake it in the States. Yes, they did. With Greg Kinnear. I don't know if you know that actor, playing Cleaver Green, and the show, it just didn't walk at all.
Clean. Kinnear's too clean. He's too American. It's too clean cut. It's not the real deal.
Yeah.
So when you took that part, did you know what you were in for in terms of success? Because it's got that classic little could be good, didn't realise it was going to be quite as good thing about it.
You know what? It was one of the rare shows that I knew it would do well simply because of how it read from the page, and it was the writing was so brilliant. And I didn't think that I would even audition for the show because I was 8.5 months pregnant when I received the audition. But I just wanted to sit in an audition room and read for it, and the writing was sublime. It just flew off the page, and it always has done all of these seasons. But when they asked me to do season 4, I was actually shooting Wentworth season 4 at the same time. So Wentworth had to write me out. They put me in the slot. I think something like that. Spoiler alert.
How's that work? How do you do? So to Wentworth, are they good about that?
Well, you know, it was a stipulation on my contract, and I loved Rake so much. There was no way that I wanted to not do the show.
Right.
And of course, I love doing Wentworth. 2 totally different, bags. But the producers and the people who schedule things were incredibly generous. And they let me do it.
How is it you explain your success? I mean, I can explain it because you're talented, obviously. But so many people cross the Tasman, and if you get a break, good on you, fantastic. And look at what you've done. You've gone and got 2 major breaks.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I can't. Success? I don't know. I don't really feel like I've been that successful yet. Because
be real.
Oh no, but I am being real because there's so much more that I want to do. I feel like that the success of the show has been amazing. Every season, season 4 of Wentworth, I think is some of my finest work to date.
Really?
I think that's a success for me. But I still feel like there's so much that I want to do.
But what you want as an actor is a hit show, don't you? You want you want sustained employment for a while. That's the aim generally, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's also, I think you have personal goals as well.
Yeah.
I've been part of some successful shows and walked away and gone, what a crap house performance I put in there. So it depends on, what you deem success to be. And for me, it's walking away and feeling really proud about the work and knowing that I was there 100%.
Does one good job get you another good job?
Yes.
So once you're in Rake and that's a hit, people go, oh yeah, her.
Yeah, people see you. I landed the role of Kate Lee because the producers had seen me on Rake. Kate Lee was the infamous illegal booze peddler from the 1920s in Australia. She's very well known, one of the most notorious female criminals of Australian history, and that show Underbelly. So I got to play an iconic Australian character in Underbelly, and then from there I think that led to them inviting me to to audition for the role of B. Smith in Wentworth.
Is there any blowback on you being a Kiwi taking Australian's job, or they just see you as an actor?
I think a lot of people think I'm Australian.
Well, there you go. So it works out okay.
What was it? Farlap. No, I think it's becoming more common now. There's a well-worn path, actors' path between Australia and New Zealand now, and there's a few Kiwis gracing the screens over there.
It's true.
But come on, look, fair's game. Look at all the Australians that are killing it in America.
That's true. If you're good, you're good. Wentworth season 4. So it begins again when?
This is the first time that we've announced this.
Is this
you ready?
Exclusive?
This is an exclusive on News Talk ZB on the Mike Hosking Breakfast Show. So hello, New Zealand, Aotearoa, Kiwiland. Wentworth season 4 will be airing on TV2 the 25th of July.
A couple of weeks to wait.
Is it 8:30 p.m?
8:30.
Right on. You heard it here first.
How do you deal with the raunch?
The raunch.
Because a bit of raunch in Rake, wasn't there? A little bit of raunch in Rake.
Raunchy.
But
look, I'll tell you what, it's the raunch is fine. It's the violence of Wentworth, which is pretty hardcore. Yeah, and my character seems to have, she seems to bear the brunt of most of the violence in the show. So it does take its toll after a while. I don't mind a bit of raunch.
You don't mind a bit of raunch?
Raunch is okay.
Fair enough.
But it really is the violence.
Because in watching I can see why people love it, but it's a dark, angry, angsty show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's high stakes drama, which is why people engage with the show. They love it. They love the twists, the turns, and it moves really fast.
How do you make it real? So you're sitting. I'm assuming you're getting on with everybody, generally speaking, in the cast, right?
Yeah.
So then you need to switch into the I'm going to beat the crap out of you, or I'm going to have some sex with you, or you know what I'm saying? And then suddenly it's cut, and we're all laughs again. Yeah. But you need to make that moment real.
Well, I work with a really fine bunch of actors and crew people, and everyone that works on that show. We're up to season 4 now. It's a fairly well-oiled machine. People, we've worked together for a long time now, and it's the nature of the job. You just hope that the crew that's been amassed, that the cast that have been cast, they know what they're doing. But you need to have that rapport with each other off the camera to make it work, and we get on really well as a cast.
94 countries. Is it 94?
Yes, something like that. It's 90-something
countries.
It's incredibly popular. It's showing.
What's its magic?
Well, I think the stories are relative to a lot of people. They're very universal. They're not just Australian. They're not just, like we have just as many male fans as female fans. And I think perhaps seeing females, it's a predominantly female cast, and seeing those stories of manipulation and violence and psychological warfare is interesting to people, especially if it's played out by women.
Do you have a say in your role to any extent?
A little bit, yeah. I think after this amount of time, I will sit down with the writers and talk a lot about where the character, perhaps areas that the character hasn't charted that we could perhaps flesh out certain storylines, and and I'm really thankful to them for having an open door policy.
What's real, what's not real, where the character would go, wouldn't go.
Yeah. What haven't we explored about this character? And for season 4 of Wentworth, there's a whole new journey for Bea that I think has been one of the more interesting ones, certainly for me, because it was more about her internal conflict rather than what was happening on the outside in the outside world. And and yes, it does hit melodramatic points in this show, and that's the beauty of it too. But we also because of the performances, they are grounded in a beautiful truth too, which I think people really respond to. And there is no demographic for a show. It seems to be across the board, all ages. I can speak to 18, 19-year-olds who love our show and see a much more mature audience that love it too.
How long do you reckon it's got to go? I mean, is it one of those things that could potentially go forever, or?
I don't know about forever, but I'm pretty sure that they'll, push for a few more seasons. I fingers crossed. I hope so, because it's so loved. But as long as they have enough juice with the characters and the storylines, you never want to see something, sort of hobbling to the finish line.
Right, exactly. Do you think you will know inside yourself when that happens with a part or a show? Were you sitting there thinking, oh,
Well,
geez,
unfortunately, it's
we're
not really in my control. But yeah, I mean,
But you
have
get a
thoughts.
you get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Why internationally? You were telling me, why do 3 countries remake the thing?
Well,
Why would you do that?
Perhaps it's it's a matter of well, for them it's cheaper to make because they've already got the template, they've already got our Bible, which is it's all set out, the colours of the teal, the set architecture, the director's shots, how the actors perform their scenes, so they're minimising their production crew, and perhaps to put it in their own language, it's going to relate more to their own country, but it's incredibly popular in Germany.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't surprise me.
And they remake it in Holland as well. So
Good on you.
Yeah.
But, so you're just off the stage. You got this. You got Rake. You're like living the dream.
Well, I'm certainly living my dream.
Well, good. That's all you can ask for.
Indeed.
Lovely to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
All the very best of luck with the latest season.
Great.
We'll
thank
catch up
you.
again soon. Danielle Cormack.